My name is Bec Hill and I am a comedian, writer, presenter, actor. So my job isn't typical in any way. I'm a freelancer, which means that I'm my own boss, so the work comes into me and I decide what I want to do. So for instance, today my day consisted of guesting on a podcast, having a meeting with the head writer of an animation company, and then doing this. But tomorrow I'm on a train to Glasgow where I've got a meeting with a television company, and then on Saturday I get to guest on a panel show. So yeah, there's no typical day, which means that it's exciting and everything's always new, which is a really cool way of living life. I didn't know what job I wanted, and to an extent still don't, because my job is so vague and varied across the board. So when I was growing up, I just knew what I really liked and what I enjoyed doing. I loved being on stage, I loved writing, I loved reading, and just playing around. I liked arts and crafts, but I never really had any formal training in any of those. And it wasn't until I finished high school and decided to take a year off to think about what I wanted to do before I went to uni that I first started doing stand-up. And then I knew I loved it and took on a bunch of day jobs to try and support it. I did loads of different jobs so that I could keep doing what I wanted to do in my spare time. And then it got to a point where I was being booked for so many gigs and writing work and that sort of thing that eventually I was able to quit my day job and do what I do now. A lot of the jobs that I first started doing when I left school just to make money didn't require any sort of further education. So it was mainly customer service based stuff, but just because you don't need years and years of training or a diploma or anything for that doesn't mean that it's not hard work. It teaches you so much, and it takes a lot to be able to work person to person and really understand what people want and how to help them. And in all the different jobs I had, each time I had to work with other people, whether it was customers or other businesses or something like that. But what you learn most from working with other people is interpersonal skills, and that comes in handy now as a creative because I know what it's like to be on the other side of things. I know what it's like to try and connect with people and what makes them tick. So I think it's the greatest training I've ever had. I think everyone should work in the hospitality industry at some point, because nothing will make you appreciate life more than having to do the low end of the jobs, like mopping the floor and taking orders and all that sort of thing. It sounds horrific, but I made great friends through it, and I wouldn't be who I am today if it weren't for it. It's hard to define because a lot of people will have you think that that means an award or a great review or a certificate or something to sort of say that you've achieved something. But I've found that while those things are nice, the things that always stick in my memory are the ones where I've done something that I didn't think that I could do. So I've said yes to something, I've been terrified about it, and it's actually ended up not only working out, but showing to me that I've got skills that I wasn't aware that I had. And nothing fills you with more of a sense of pride and purpose. So I would say my greatest professional achievements have been ones that you can't really put on paper. I've been given two very good pieces of advice. One of them was from a friend recently who said you should never make your goals something that are outside of your control. So you should never say, oh, I'll achieve this goal if someone gives me my own TV show. That's a great goal to have, but you can't necessarily control whether someone gives you a TV show. What you can do is make your goal, I'm going to write a TV show. And it may or may not get picked up, but as long as you've written it, you've achieved that goal and you've done everything that you could. The second piece of advice was in an article actually written by another comedian called Ken Chang, and he said, you should never compare yourself to other people, you should only compare yourself to yourself. More importantly, compare yourself to where you were a year ago or several years ago, and you can see not just what you've achieved, but what you've learned and how far you've come. And as long as you're always learning and being better than where you were a year or so ago, you're on the right track. So only compare yourself to yourself, and that way you can enjoy the stuff that other people do and you don't get that horrible feeling of jealousy or envy, because you know that you're all on your own paths doing your own thing. Don't bother following someone else's path. It's not worth it. To get to where I am now, it's involved patience. I've been doing what I do for a really long time because I started straight out of high school. So this is actually the 14th year that I've been doing stand-up. And for some people that might seem like a really long time, but it's been an incredible journey. And it's been because I've taken my time and not worried about where I think I should be, but rather just enjoyed the process of it, that it's been really great. It also means that when I get opportunities now, I know I'm ready for them because I've been training for ages. So I'm definitely ready to take them on. And that leads me into confidence. That's the second thing you want, because you need to have confidence in yourself, not just in the things that you know that you can do, but in the things that you might not be sure you can do. The only way to find out is to try. So push yourself into things even if you're not sure they're gonna work, because it's the only way you'll find out. The third one is humility, because you can't really have confidence without humility. You want to have both. Humility means that you'll keep learning, you'll keep striving, and you'll keep working on becoming better at what you are. Without humility, you stay stagnant and you'll never become what you could fully be. So remember those three: patience, confidence, and humility.